In the fields of karma.
There are no chocolate candies.
When you're heading out west.
All that and more. Cody, punch Mike Tyson! What the fuck? What the fuck?
Ow.
Ooch.
Why'd you tap me there?
Ew. Don't touch me there.
Don't hit me in my no-no spot.
And my no... God damn it. No spot. Welcome to episode 28 of the Super Media Brothers podcast. I am Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okami.
What's up, fuckers?
Both of y'all.
Two of you. All two of you that are still listening. Please listen after that so we can make you go,
All over the place. We're to start dropping flow now.
Right? So we've got Jesus fuck. We've got quite a few things to talk about today. It's kind of a catch-all. Gotta, kind of getting back into that swing of shit.
In the flow.
Mm-hmm. But today we brought along a special guest to help us out.
Yes, my good friend at work and amigo, Justino.
Hey now, Dark Kent in the building.
Is that what your tagline is? Dark Kent?
Dark Kent.
Okay.
Like Clark Kent, but not...
I'm the Black Superman.
That's right.
Is.
Yeah, so I'm Dark Kent.
Hell yeah.
Chocolate City.
There you go.
Dude, there is a Black Superman though.
What's his name?
I think he's actually like just Man of Steel, if I'm not mistaken.
But he's not Dark Kent.
It's not as clever.
But see, that's you though. Like you get props for that shit.
He's legit.
Hey,
he's legit.
He's too legit to quit.
Hey man.
Hey.
I come with a trademark label.
Yes, sir.
I'm ready.
So before we get into what the hell we're gonna throw down on,
Discuss.
That's right, dude. You were telling me there's something you wanted to talk about.
Oh my god. This tentative date for Borderlands 3. Oh my god.
That just got announced a few days ago.
I know. And now they're rumoring it either in next year, but I'm hoping it's December of this year. Because it just said 20-something. But what happened was Italian version of Amazon, or the whatever you want to call it. Italazon. They basically put like a list of games being released soon, and then it had Borderlands 3 December 20 -- basically. So everybody's flipping their shit like, okay, is it 2019? Is it 2020? I'm thinking 2019, maybe 2018, hopefully.
We just want a Christmas gift. Damn it.
Dude, I've been waiting years patiently for an actual good sequel to the second one. So,
absolutely.
My God.
I never played it.
You're missing out.
I'm sorry.
Severely.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's cool.
That was a depressing remark. I'm sorry.
I am so depressed now. I can't continue this.
We're so ready to play this game. I've never played it.
Oh.
If I wish I had the Price is Right music queued up.
Price is wrong, bitch.
The price is wrong, bitch. I want to talk about the new Panic at the Disco album.
You do that.
Pray for the Wicked. Now, we're coming off of the high success of Death of a Bachelor.
Still probably my favorite album to this day.
It was a really good album, being technically Brendan Urie's first solo outing as Panic at the Disco. This is his second outing as a solo version of Panic at the Disco. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, though, he brought it again on this album. Now, not quite as good, I guess you would say, as Death of a Bachelor, but the side of music he visited on this album was really good, in my opinion. He still kind of sticks to his guns as far as like the show tuney sound and things like that.
Blues, gospel, I like that.
The hey, what was it? Hey, look, Ma, I made it. Oh God,
yeah.
You seen the video to that?
Mm-hmm.
He's got the little hand puppet version of himself, all getting smacked around and like.
Dude, he did that with Dylan Francis. He collabed on that.
Oh, no shit. Okay, yeah. Because I was wondering, I was like, I know he did something with somebody on this record, but I didn't remember who it was. So
it was Dylan Francis, which I was kind of surprised.
That makes a lot of sense. And then, of course, the lead single, Saturday Night.
Oh yeah,
That's a fucking banger if I've ever heard one in my life from these motherfuckers.
I can't forget. I have to remember which song it is, but I have to re-listen to that album. But there's a couple of them that I really like on there.
Same here. And he's going on tour. I'd like to catch that. Probably on the second leg of the tour because I'm pretty sure we missed the boat on tickets for this round. And you know that motherfucker's going to sell out now.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. But we've seen them live before, and they throw the fuck down. So out there, go see these motherfuckers. If you haven't seen them live yet, they put on a hell of a show.
That main motherfucker, basically.
And there is a revival of Fooly Cooley.
Yes.
And I know you're fucking excited as shit about it.
Fucking right.
So give some insight on the series at hand and where you think they are going to be going or should be going with this.
So if you're not familiar with Fooly Cooley or FLCL, it's like a mini series of 6 episodes, and it's just a random assortment of events that happen to this little kid. This alien object comes to hit basically in his town, and it's this chick with a guitar. And that's how she fights aliens off in her homeworld or wherever she does, is she literally battles them with a guitar. Well, she hits...
That's her sword? It's her guitar?
It's like a sword, yes.
This is amazing.
It's very amazing.
It's like a 6-string samurai almost.
Basically.
She plays you a tune? Go ahead.
Yeah, she rocks you out, man. So she...
Rock out with a knockout.
Basically. So she basically hits him at one point, and he starts growing a horn from his head at one point in the episodes, and he pulls it out, and it's a robot basically that comes out. And the robot, surprisingly enough, he has his ultimate move where he actually swallows the kid as a bullet and turns into a sniper rifle and shoots it at the kaiju looking creatures that come out. It's really weird. Like, it's out there.
Joseph, you look like you're blowing your mind a little bit on this.
My mind
Shots fired.
is fucked, guys.
I mean, you caught the tail end of the movie we were watching, so you're probably still like
Hey,
raw.
man, I'm liking you guys more the second I'm here with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was fucking insane.
Dude, that's not even like putting it mildly.
Look, we doing the Cult Cinema Showdown series in the future, guys. We will be featuring Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Just saying.
You
Yeah,
have to
go.
watch it,
Yeah, please, fucking go watch it.
please.
It's on YouTube.
Please.
You'll watch nothing but Spanish subtitles, but still, it's all visual.
You don't need to read it, just watch it.
Right.
Yeah, because this is a sight to behold, and that's not even putting it like as best as we can.
You'll be fucked over, literally.
Fans of Akira, you're in for a treat.
Mm.
Now, have either of you seen anything in the Purge franchise?
The first one, I want to say. With the one with
Ethan Hawke
Yep.
and all them? Yeah. So I actually just checked out the fourth one, the first Purge, the other night.
Is it a prequel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is... The story takes place contained in Staten Island, New York, before it goes nationwide. And I have thoughts about this. Go see it. Definitely go see it. It's a pretty good time at the movies. But I feel like they kind of missed the mark on what the franchise was about with this one. I mean, granted, it's a prequel to the first, it's a prequel to the whole series, but if you're really wanting the bang for your buck, definitely the first 3 installments, like, definitely drive the point home. This one was more of a political construct, more so a political construct than the other 3 are, but they delve deeper into why they're doing it, what started them doing it, and who, like, in the higher ups of the politicians are making this possible. I mean, I'm not going to spoil anything, but
The whys, the what,
the what the fuck is more like.
the to what extent.
Did it answer a lot of questions?
See, that's the thing. It didn't really tell me anything I didn't already. You know what I'm saying?
It probably left you with more questions than anything. Like,
But I mean,
why did they even make this?
sometimes how just like the Hangover franchise. When you see you making money off one, continue the train, and then if it doesn't work, you'll have a prequel. So don't be surprised if we don't see a Hangover prequel.
This is true. Because you can make a prequel
So-
for anything.
For
And
anything.
So instead of calling The Hangover, it's The Drunk.
Yeah.
If it's a prequel.
The drunk?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because it's the
get it.
prequel to being hungover.
I'd call it the hang under. Like, I'm stupid.
set place in Australia.
That's right.
Let's get drunk all down under.
Good day, mate.
Bobby.
Good day.
Good day.
Let's get drunk with them kangaroos. They must be stacking a lot of beer in their pouches.
Oh shit! To our Australian listeners,
They're probably getting a
We
crack.
definitely weren't making fun of you guys.
no,
Please-
no,
They're
but
probably rolling with
Please
this.
support.
Oh, yeah.
they're kangaroo rolling with this. I hope they are.
Rolling with the punches.
That's right, and kicks.
Bam.
Bam.
Put up your dukes, motherfucker.
Nice.
There we go.
Fist bumping. First purge, give it your money. Honestly, I would, if it were me, I would have waited till Redbox.
Boom. That's real.
You know,
That's real.
keeping it 100 up in this motherfucker.
Real talking.
Real talk. So I guess let's move on to the main subject at hand.
Or did you have anything you were interested
Yeah.
I
Hyped
mean,
on.
since you guys talking about movies, you know, I seen
Yeah.
Uncle Drew the other night.
Oh, dude, yeah, I heard
How
about
was
that.
that?
How was it?
Definitely slept on it. I slept on it, man. I thought it was going to be one of those cheesy, Afro-American movies. But no, it was actually good. They had, a pretty good concept. The basketball players that played in it, everybody stuck to their role. I'm not going to give anything up, but definitely go check it out if you have the chance.
Hell yeah.
You
'Cause
will
I-
leave with your side hurting.
No shit. Because I saw a poster for it and I was like, what is this? Like, I didn't even know it was a thing. But I heard of it because I seen the poster. I was like, well, that looks cool.
I
It's
saw
a
the
basketball movie.
I saw the trailer in one of the previews. I don't remember what movie it was, but I remember seeing the preview.
Reggie Miller, Chris Webber, Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, they
Nate
had a lot of the
Robinson.
Oh, shit.
stars.
Oh, yeah.
So all the shit we all grew up on then.
Yeah, it's
Hell
our
yeah.
yeah.
era of basketball players.
Hell yeah.
So.
Actually, yeah, before we move on, they keep talking about Space Jam 2 happening.
It's happening. Why do you think LeBron's in L.A.?
Oh, I know.
It's happening.
I'm just saying. It's funny because it's like they've been talking about it, and they're like, well, they want to wait until he announces what team he's going to be on, which LA Lakers.
Right.
So,
But do you think it's going to be as good as the first one?
Nothing's ever better than the first one. Like,
Yeah, but this is Space Jam. Like, you cannot compare anything else to the
You
first
can't.
one to this one.
they cannot beat the first Space Jam, hands down. I'm
No.
sorry. I don't care who's in it. I don't care how much of a budget they have. You cannot beat the first Space
Because
Jam.
here's my fault right here. They're going to use the different animation style than they did in the first one, and it's going to look completely off-putting than it should be.
Right. Didn't they try that with Brandon Fraser and Looney Tunes?
they sure did. Was it Looney Tunes back in action?
Yeah, and it was
definitely
abysmal.
was a flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was totally abysmal.
Horrible. So
And that's the thing is like you also had the perfect storm of like holy shit, like one of if not the greatest sports star of our generation, Michael Jordan, with the Looney Tunes, who arguably were at the height of their popularity in the mid '90s.
Right.
You know, they were all over everything. They're still all over a lot of things, but like back then, you couldn't turn a corner without seeing like any of those characters on merchandising or anything like that.
And Six Flags was big back then, too,
Yep.
and they were real prominent with that. So.
now, just an idea to you guys: if it wasn't Looney Tunes for Space Jam 2, just say the concept, what cartoon would it be?
I couldn't think of anything
From like
else.
today's.
From like today's
Right,
shit?
From today's shit, yeah. What
It,
cartoon
like-
would it be?
Okay, well, given that it doesn't matter specifically, just because like Looney Tunes, you know, you could throw any cartoon in and it wouldn't matter like sport wise, because holy shit, they obviously in the first movie they needed somebody to train them to play,
Right.
and we're going okay. Now, does it have to be like stuck within the confines of like PG-13 kind of rating?
Shit, the world we live in today. No.
Dude, what about the Nicktoons?
That
The
that would be fun.
Nickelodeon-based ones.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Or if they want to be more conflictive, they can go with like Disney. Like the old Disney cartoons.
I don't know that Disney would have. Well, no, it's okay. Pixar, the Pixar characters.
Ooh.
That's
Yeah.
mine.
Ooh.
Take some of the Pixar characters and throw them in there.
Like a mashup?
Absolutely.
Better than Infinity War? I'm just joking.
No, dude. That might you say that, but that would be
Pretty on par, yes.
because you could have like Buzz and Woody on one hand, and then you could go across and have like Mike Wazowski like being the basketball probably in certain scenes.
Dude, we have to get to Pixar.
That's what I'm saying.
They're probably
do
listening
it.
right
We
now.
need to get to Pixar.
If,
Definitely.
if
Share us the Pixar people.
that's right, Pixar. If you're out there, please Pixar ID up. Mm-hmm. That was a shitty pun.
We don't charge much.
We're still laughing.
Yeah, they're probably laughing all the way to the fucking bank with this idea too. Bastards.
Trademark. Super
TM.
Media Brothers.
Fuck you and pay me.
Copyright.
Right? Fuck you, pay me. And all that jazz.
Bitch.
Trademark of the Super Media Brothers podcast and Dark Kent.
Yeah.
Huh?
Huh.
That's just my aggressive, like, I'm here.
I'm here. Huh.
Oh, I like it.
I'm like Yin Yang Twins and his B.I.H.
Whispering in theirs.
That's right.
Hey, I see you, boy.
How you doing, Pixar? Let me whisper in your ears. Like, oh fuck, this motherfucker.
It's free real estate.
Yeah, dude. Hey, it's free movie ideas.
Bank on that
I
shit.
feel like your breath is hotter when you whisper.
Yeah,
Is that factual?
dude. And a lot of people think it's like when you or when you like the temperature changes because when you're blowing air from like your diaphragm, but when you're just going like with your lips, you're just taking the air that's like immediate, like right in front of you, and just it's coming like just right back out of your mouth. So it's cooler.
The more you know.
We know y'all couldn't see it out there. We
There
know
was
you.
a shooting star with a rainbow behind it.
I watched that bitch fly, too.
Man, it took off
Where did it land? I want it.
on Loki.
Damn, Loki. I'm wasting this.
He is the star.
He is the.
We just threw the cat across the
We
table.
threw the cat across the table. You didn't hear him because he was.
No, we did not. You had to say it.
No, Peter, we did not.
We did not.
Oh, Peter.
Don't ban us, please.
Yeah, no shit. Because they probably will.
Yeah.
We do not own the rights to those voices.
No.
No. No. Lois, no.
Excellent. Okay, so now we can actually go to the bulk of the conversation and the topic of this podcast.
And somebody say Buck?
Buck?
Fuck you, suck my dick.
No.
God damn it.
Mom!
Man! Kid is being a dildo!
So basically,
Yeah.
the topic of our episode today was actually brought up by Justin here the other day whenever we were kind of talking about the podcast in general. What if we talk about artists that are influential to some of us, but to the mass population have a very bad reputation in some form or fashion? So what we did was we put one artist per person that we felt got a negative rep more so than they should, and we're going to bring to light to people who harsh on them, why they shouldn't do so, and then basically have like an open discussion about each one.
Yeah, I
So,
heard
yeah.
that.
So
Did y'all hear that?
We heard it.
very soft voice that I have
Heard it here first.
We heard it here first.
on the Super Media Brothers podcast.
I don't have. I wish I had one of those horns.
Hey.
Oh.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
My name is Jeff. No, that's Hefe.
It was Thor and Boots.
So, we each picked an artist out to talk to discuss for this subject, and I would say that two of them are in the same genre, but they are all three very much different in their own regards, I would think. So,
In the community that they represent, yeah.
Definitely.
who would like to go first on this motherfucker?
I'm the
Guest
guest
of honor?
I'm the guest, so,
So I guessed.
I will go first.
Do it.
You guessed right.
I guessed right. Ding 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 ding.
So,
What do we have for him, Johnny?
So I chose to go with Kanye West. A lot of people may look at me crazy.
Like I am right now.
Right, but this man is a genius. Okay,
And that's a very
Okay.
bold statement, but please
that is
continue.
a very bold statement. This man is a genius, but at the same time,
I'm
he's
looking.
an extreme genius.
The
because he
extreme is
thinks
very
forefront.
good terminology, yes.
He thinks forefront. I mean, what do you, if you had the depiction, just your life, right, with music, your pick of music, your playlist and my playlist will all be different playlists, but to our lives is our soundtrack, right?
Right.
If I had to look back, he would be the most influential. That's coming from high school days. That's coming from freshman year of college. That's coming from graduating in college. That's going into work life. It's always been a consistent base where it's been some type of Kanye. I really feel like he's misunderstood because of the honesty that he puts out. But a lot of times, is not at the right time or place. So,
But do you think he does that on purpose because what's a good way to put this? He does it to break the monotony, I guess, of what's going on around the society to kind of get them to like, hey, wake up, basically.
yeah, actually, I mean, that was a good way of putting it, definitely. I don't think all his moves are done like that, but with anybody's career, it's very strategic. And when you put out certain things, when you say certain things, how you market certain things. And I feel like some of his attempts, that's what they were. But in the end, even, with all the money that he's made, everything he's done, I still see him as a real person.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
Just
yeah,
like as a real person.
he's definitely an honest person. I will give him that. My thing is just that asshole persona, that very arrogant persona, just reflects so much into his music, and to me, he projects that he is, like you said, this musical icon, this legend, this genius, but it doesn't sound any different than what I've already heard or any better than what I've heard. Now, that's just my opinion.
Musically wise?
Musically wise.
Given.
Now, like you said, there are other people out there who think differently, and they say that he's influential to my life in A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But, we would like to hear more about, what specifically influenced you the most with him. Like, what parts of your life did you get the most, like, kick from his music or his inspirational quotes or, whatever you want to call it?
Right. I think with him, you got, like with music, you got a different type of music, right? If you're going out partying, you're going to listen to something different. If you're in your feelings, you're going to listen to something different.
Yeah.
Right.
For me, I like to feel good about myself. So when I listen to Kanye, it's more of a, I guess, self-esteem music, because the way that how big his ego is, whenever you're listening to that, that's just kind of push that I kind of get from it, But at the same time, he isn't, all the way there. He does have bipolar that has come out. He is bipolar.
Yeah.
But also with bipolar comes something that's called grandiosity. So that's when a person has an unrealistic belief about themselves, and that they state very outrageous things.
Right.
And that comes with the bipolar disorder. So, some of it's kind of
Play that guitar.
some of it, I could kind of understand now why some of the rants he, done. But I don't know, man. He's definitely influential. Like, even just with music, he didn't even stop at that. Like, he went straight to fashion. He's changed the way some people start dressing. He's changed even just the shoe game. Like, I've grown up on Jordans all my life, kindergarten through now till today. My son wears Jordans.
Hell yeah.
Adidas is the number 2 shoe company in the world.
Right.
Nike is still number 1, but Jordan is number 3. Adidas has never been in competition like that before. And
Until he stepped
in and signed a contract with them. Granted, he was signed to Nike as well and very prosperous with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that they couldn't come to an agreement contract. So, he went to Adidas, and now you see just that. If anything, that's an influence right there.
Yeah.
I
I mean, even outside of music, like you said, fashion, to bring the game up from a company to push them to the next level where they really haven't been or haven't been in a while, that's a big fucking deal.
And I think it's the biggest thing. And you even look what the company he was signed with Nike, like the Nike Roches.
Yeah.
It's a knockoff of Kanye's shoe.
Yep.
It's a knockoff of the concept. I think where he puts his efforts into when he goes into something, just say if it's music, say if it's fashion, say if it's in owning a business, he wants to be the best that he can be at that certain skill with anything that he puts his power into. So it's something as simple as shoes. You're making all these millions with music. Why push such a big passion with this? And then you succeed at it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. His clothes with his fashions is ugly. I'm not gonna.
For being open about it.
Right.
I'm not gonna pay $300 for a shirt with 20 holes in it. But to each their own. But
To each their whole.
just his idea of that, just something like that may not sell. He's not gonna stop until it succeeds.
Right. Yeah.
You will not stop hearing about Kanye West until you go into the mall and you see,
So he's
West.
just determined. He's persistent.
His determination, his persistence, his consistency, and that's all being unbalanced. You know what I'm saying? It's a state of mind. being an unbalanced person.
So here's my next question. Is it really him, or is it really the people that promote him that make him believe that his music is actually that good at certain points? Like we were talking about earlier, when he just literally talks about poop. Like, is that really him saying that this is great music, or are the people who are promoting his music saying like, no, that really is great, let's put that out there?
Or is he just being a troll?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is being a troll. I think with that track itself, I think it was right around before his album actually came out.
Yeah, the EP that he just released.
Right. They wanted to hear something from Kanye because most of them just been beats.
Right.
So, you got this big buzz going around. He puts this track out. Mind you, the first half of it,
It's not
it's
terrible.
No,
not
we were
terrible.
waiting.
Right, but just like you said, every fan of him, not saying I was fans, but just saying every fan of him was waiting for I'm waiting for Kanye to throw that line down. I'm waiting for that Kanye verse. And then you
boy,
get
oh boy.
boopity scoop, scoopity boop, boop, boop. But I feel like he just did it to be Kanye. Like, look, this is what y'all want to hear, but
But I'm not giving it to you.
You're not getting it until it comes
Like
out.
you rushed me to make something. Now here you go. You got
There
what you
go.
get.
Right.
That's what you want.
You get what you pay for, fuckers.
Basically,
And what's the listens on Spotify?
a shit ton.
Exactly.
Literally a shit ton.
Because he
Influence.
is Kanye. He's literally that iconic to actually put something out there and it'd be popular.
Influence.
Yeah, because I mean, even on our last episode, we trashed the shit out of it, and him like, as a personality. But I've said I'll be damned if the man does not make some good music here and there. Because it's like I first heard him when College Dropout was a thing. Then when Late Registration came out, that kind of continued on. Then when Graduation, you kind of started to see him become more prevalent in pop culture as a musician.
Absolutely.
And then when his mother had passed and he put 808s and Heartbreak out, that's when I really was just like, okay, I'm listening. I'm kind of digging what you're doing. And when My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, that is absolutely my favorite album that he put out. So high five on that one. Yeah, like that is my absolute favorite album. And that is where I am sitting here drawing the line between Kanye West the man and Kanye West the artist, because
Right.
it's like he's a fucking asshole, but like I said, I'll be damned if that album was not just fucking gold. Like just
Right.
absolute instant classic when I heard it. Fucking loved it.
And I feel like he doesn't know how to express himself in a proper way to, I guess, what everybody's used to or accepted to.
The standards of society,
Right, the
basically.
standards of society. So with his music, just like you said, Twisted Dark Fantasy, if you listen to a lot of it,
That's a big introspective fucking piece of music.
yeah, but in a way, he's expressing his flaws. He's expressing his depression. He's apologizing subliminally for things that he's done in his past, even the situation with Taylor Swift. But it's because he can't express himself how he wants to. That's how he does it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why people, like you just said, trying to draw the line in between, they can be like, okay, we got you, Kanye, but look, chill out.
That's
Back
pretty
up
much
a
where
little
I'm
bit.
at. I'm like, dude, if he was able to actually get his shit together 100%, like and I think that's like going to what you were saying, like how he's determined this, that, and the other. That's his anchor.
Yeah.
That's what's kind of holding him completely back from
It's his
hitting that.
ego.
Yeah,
It's the ego, man. But that falls back on the disorder that he has.
Absolutely.
Whenever you feel like, and there's nothing wrong with, being your biggest supporter, but standards of society, we're supposed to be humble. So
Right.
you praise the humble, the ones who brag about their accomplishments or brag about what they have and what this and that. That's the ones that's looked down on. But I also wanted to talk to you. You brought up 808s and Heartbreaks. That influenced hip hop in itself as far as a production.
I love that album.
808s wasn't really used a lot on instrumentals before that came out. And then, who was it? Kid Cudi kind of had his own form of it.
Yep.
A lot of people started going to the 808s, and now that's all you hear. That's the prevalent drum beat that
Majority of it,
everybody
yeah.
wants to go
And that's
to.
the basis, basically.
And literally, that's where the bass portions of the shit come from. Like the bass instrument came from the bass drums of the 808s on that album. Fucking genius. Like I'll be here again, separating the man from the artist. That album was good too, and actually was my favorite until Dark Twisted Fantasy came out. I loved 808s and Heartbreak. Fucking RoboCop was probably one of my favorite tracks on that son of a bitch.
Yeah, but you can still listen to it today. Mm-hmm. You can jam it tomorrow, and some part of it would still pertain to you to this day, not from the point in time that you knew it from before. So
Yeah.
that I don't know. That's just a big influence of me. You have a huge influence. So many people hate you, but they hate to love you, but they love you. You know,
Maybe they love certain parts of it, but not the full part yet.
right?
Still
And-
getting to that part.
right. That's why you married a Kardashian.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Take your eyes off of the crazy part.
hello. I mean, you walked into crazy.
Yeah.
No shit.
I love you, Kim.
Love you every day.
I love
Just saying.
Love you, Kim K. Love you every day. Holy shit. Did you have anything else to add on Mr. West, sir?
George Bush does not care about black people,
Q face palm from
Wait.
Mike Myers.
We know that.
quote unquote.
It's Republicans. So yeah.
That's also
God.
influence too.
Yeah.
Kanye made George W. look like a racist, and he wasn't. Poor George W. was just sitting there. He was innocent.
He was just like Al Qaeda.
Yeah. And he was like just sitting there. He's like, now watch this drive. You're welcome. I won't go any further onto that one.
Yikes.
If you want to search the internet for that, go do it.
Right now.
Right, meow.
I don't think I have anything else, guys.
Well,
I really don't think, man. I think I hit everything where I needed to.
just like Little Mac.
You key point. Yeah, you key points.
Yeah, but Kanye, lose your ego, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with a Kanye quote, if y'all don't mind.
Go
I'm
ahead.
not gonna really
Might as
leave
well.
y'all, but you know,
Yeah.
your own ego can destroy you if you let it, especially if the world validates your behavior. But don't let anyone bring you down. You are in charge of yourself. The only person who controls you is you.
You.
My brother. Mr.
Very
Kanye
well
West.
said. Mm-hmm.
Follow your own motherfucking quotes.
Your own dreams.
Follow your own dream.
Follow your dreams, Kanye.
Just do it.
So you have an artist in particular that honestly, like, I didn't think got a lot of a bad rep or anything like that. That's why I was kind of surprised with your pick this week, Cody.
When you follow multiple forms of social media, the community-based forums and stuff like that, you tend to see the good and the bad of pretty much any artist. Now, Karma Fields, when he came out in, I want to say it's like 2015 with his first single, Monster Cat, Build the Cities, it was a standard kind of subpar song. Wasn't too influential at the time, but his name was known. It's a different sound, different appeal, and the music video was very influential in its own way because it was the standard like geometry based like shapes and stuff like that, patternized, randomosity when it comes to how the shapes make and stuff like that. Also, it had the faces that pop up with the geometric shapes and whatnot. So that was an interesting concept. However, his next single that came out was called Stick Up, featuring Juliette Lewis. This song is what started the fire. This was what you call agrotech. Agrotech is a very aggressive form of EDM where it's very heavy on the metallic sounds, the screaming kind of aspects and stuff like that. Juliette Lewis was not a big aggressive person per se when it comes to her anything in general. Mm-hmm. And this song had a very narrative feel to the song. It wasn't a standard like vocalist sound to it. Very aggressive, very narrative. Everybody was shitting on this song. On YouTube communities, there was like a good like 80-90% of them were just saying like this is basically garbage. This wasn't EDM. This was just basically like screaming, stuff around that kind of talk with it. And then from that point on, Karma Fields basically got just that kind of stink behind his music. Like he released Skyline afterwards, which is very acoustic based, very mellow sound from what he did before. And everybody was still confused. Like he still had the same art style. He was still very mysterious. Nobody knew who he was at all. Like there was no human name based on who he was. So there was just that mystery. Like, is he really an EDM artist? Is he really just like a computer generated like program? Kind of like how Girls is not really a band. It's just the art style basically. So nobody knew who he really was, and they were still thinking that he makes like subpar, if not less than that music. So his EP hit, or his LP hit, the next year, New Age, Dark Age. That was very influential to me because the very beginning of the promotion behind it was the, what is it called? The binary type stuff where it's like it was ripping down numbers going down the screen.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like drops of water going down, and it had like the code would pop up and it would play the music in the background like it was loading. And it gives you that sense of like something big is coming, but you don't know what it is.
Like Y2K.
Basically.
Gotcha.
And it had like the loading screen on the bottom. It had like the bar saying like so and so days, months, whatever left over for the release. So every step that he's taking up to this point is just so vastly different than what the community's already seen. Because Raven Kwok is the artist behind the music videos that he does, and it's all based on programming algorithms to make these like patterns show up. Like with the artists that do the vocal work, whenever they appear in the video, it's just their outlines of their faces, and the shapes will pop up as like the nose crevices and the eyes and the eyebrows and stuff like that. It wasn't like your standard visual,
Right.
basically. Well, as soon as the LP hit, then we start getting the taste of like who Chroma Fields really is, and that's when the theories start popping up. Like I said earlier, is he really a person? Is it like a computer generated like program that's just making music just for the hell of it, basically, or what? So you got all the songs before, and then you got some new ones. Some of them I kind of had to take like a good 5 or 10 listens to kind of appreciate because they were just kind of that out there. One of them was with CC Shetfield, and it was just this very, very minimalistic kind of noise making with the mouth, like kind of stuff. It was very French influence. It was very just like bland in a way compared to what most people listen to, because EDM is like very energetic, out there, yeah. Now that gave me one of my favorite songs too in the EP or the LP, Greatness with Talib Kweli. That was a really good rap song, and it had a very hip hop aggro tech kind of feel to it with the sound that he produced on the side of it. So I like that. But still, from that point on, people weren't really seeing the creativity, the beauty, the inspiration, the influence behind his style, like him as a person. It was more of just like they're still stuck on like this is really not music. This is just noises, basically. So another weird concept that I thought was really brilliant was his Hex. It's called the Hex, basically. It was like a live studio session that he did. It was in New York, I believe.
That was fucking awesome, by the way.
It was. It was basically a hex screen, and all you saw was him in the center, and you saw the artwork of the music videos and everything flash around him.
Like as he's performing.
And as he's performing. And every now and then you see a glitz of him just like popping up in the center playing his music, but you saw like just the animations of everything just around him, and it was so freaking cool to me.
What?
It was outside the ordinary.
It's music and art, like a literal art performance.
It was a visual
That's what's up.
experience along with being a audio experience. Now,
But was it a real concert? Like people?
it was
were-
an actual show. You
Oh,
didn't
that's what's up. So you got double.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they showed the video later on, when it was performed, but you can actually go in, like, I mean, select few obviously, but
yeah,
you can actually go in and see the Hex live and then experience it firsthand. Now, one of my favorite things that he did afterwards was he did a remix of No Sleep by Janet Jackson. And that one was very trippy. Like you hear the original song, this one makes it like 10 times more like just kind of unsettling in a way. So
Eerie.
yeah,
Eerie.
very
Kinda
eerie.
get goosebumps.
Oh yeah. Like I'll send you some links to his music and you can kind of get a
Right,
feel of
get a
everything.
feel.
But he hasn't really released much of anything since Sweat from last year, like mid last year I think it was. He hadn't really released much of anything else since then, and I've noticed that he's a very spaced out when it comes to his releases. He's very reclusive when it comes to anything he does. Like you don't hear anything until it happens, basically,
Right.
with him.
Right.
So people are like begging, like, "Where's Karma Fields that actually do appreciate him? Where's he at? Where is he at?" But you don't really know if anything until like Monster Cat's like, "Oh, by the way, here's so and so with this song." It's like, "Oh shit, where'd this come from?"
Right.
The most promotion we got was New Age Dark Age when he had that little load screen, basically. But like I said, my biggest harp on people is that they don't give him an actual chance to look past like the out of the ordinary styles that he brought to the table, like the agrotech. You don't really hear that much in the Monster Cat community, for one. So when you finally hear it, and it's like, what the fuck is this shit? Why is this chick screaming at me?
Right.
You know, give it a chance. Actually listen to it and take something from it to be like, oh, well, I like it for this or this, you know?
Don't just shit on it.
Basically.
I hear you.
Yeah. Because I enjoy the shit out of his music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it grows on you too.
That's what I was saying. Like,
First listen is not gonna determine if it's great or not.
like I said, a couple of songs on that LP had to listen to a couple of times just to even get the appreciation behind it, because it's, like I said, not something I normally listen to.
Right.
So when I started getting that feel for it, I was like, okay, I can get it. I grabbed it. You know, I got this. I like this a lot. Stuff like that.
I got this. I like this a lot.
A lot.
I like this a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
Dude.
How's it going, dude?
I like it a lot, dude.
Dude, it's going.
We're bringing Frank back, dude.
Remember, Frank, when you masturbate, dude.
He's wearing a white beater shirt, too.
Looking
so-
at your face, dude. Just staring at you like this, dude.
Just face, dude.
I suck at accents. I suck at impersonations.
We do too.
We're just being dumbasses here.
I mean, really. What was that impersonation? A dumbass.
Duh.
So, my artist is Eminem.
Don't break
Yeah.
yourself.
I almost feel like I could just say it's Eminem and then just say no more, just because.
That was my point. On to the next one.
No, for real though.
My
Like-
artist is Eminem. That we're done.
Like, we're fucking done. That's it for this week. Right? But really though, that guy, that is a name that you cannot hear and not immediately think controversy.
Right.
Yeah.
When he first burst on the scene after his Infinite mixtape or first album Infinite, he got signed by Dr. Dre and put the Slim Shady LP out, which, holy shit, when that came out, people did not know what the fuck to think at all, because
No.
I'm sure everybody and their mother was like, this crazy white boy saying all this outlandish ass shit on all these tracks, all this fucking off the wall, crazy ass, like, nonsensical lyrics. Because if
Right.
you go and listen to a lot of the shit on that album, there's, I mean,
Oh my gosh.
just,
I'm so glad my mom didn't listen to what I listened to, but she bought it for me. But I mean,
Dude.
Same with
I'm so
mine.
glad.
I mean, he only really upped the ante when the Marshall Mathers LP came out, because, you know, again, I'm touching on like some of these earlier albums to kind of get into why he gets literally a bad rep with a lot of shit. And those two albums, probably those two albums are in particular the best examples, because a lot of people were like, oh God, he's like, he shit talks his mother. He's a misogynist. He's, you know, like violent towards women, all this other shit. And I'm sitting there like, yes and no. If you can sit there and say, okay, when he's rapping on some of these tracks, it's under his Slim Shady persona.
Right.
And that was pretty much his way of getting out all that bottled up anger and expressing himself and shit like that, while at the same time being autobiographical in a sense. Because that man did not have the easiest life growing up.
No.
No.
Like, at fucking all. And to get to where he's at now is goddamn impressive. Like, I don't care who you are out there. You got to respect that dude's fucking hustle getting to where the fuck he's at today.
Real talk.
And the big deal about Eminem at the time when the Marshall Mathers LP came out, which actually him and Marilyn Manson, was the fucking Columbine shooting. Because everybody was like, oh God, it's Manson's lyrics, it's Eminem's lyrics. And it's just like, dude, he even says it in one of his fucking songs. He's like, you know, I just wrote the lyrics. I didn't think you'd do it.
Yeah,
You know, I didn't know if he'd do it or not. And it's like, that wasn't even really his intention in the first place. Again, it's a dude putting out an album, a fucking fantastic album that, by all intents and purposes, broke a lot of barriers in hip hop. Because even,
It really changed hip hop.
it fucking did. Because you had a lot of hip hop artists being like, "Fuck, I wouldn't have even said half the shit that man said."
Right.
Absolutely.
Like, even the guys from NWA, who we all know are some of the hardest motherfuckers out there, were just like, "Shit."
Who is this crazy? He just told his mama what?
Ooh, this
Yeah.
cracker.
I mean, no shit. But
He got to pass quick though.
Yeah,
Eminem
oh,
got to pass quick.
But he fucking earned that shit though. I mean,
Oh,
fuck,
man.
you can't deny. And that's another thing I wanted to get at. That man not only elevated the game in hip hop, he broke down a lot of racial barriers in hip hop.
Honestly, real talk.
So because I mean, what did we have to go home before he came out? Fucking
Marky
Vanilla
Mark.
Ice and Marky Mark. Yeah,
Yeah, now we have a lot more white rap artists
I
Yeah,
coming
respect
out
Lil
now.
Dicky.
Yeah.
Dicky,
Dude, God, Lil Dicky's
The
the shit.
appreciation,
He is doing his thing.
the appreciation is high with this one. Yes.
Yeah, I just got Cody to start listening to his shit the other night.
Really?
Yeah.
See, the thing about it, he did everything right. He
Yep.
went to school, went to college, got a good job, said, I don't want to do this. I want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And now look at him.
Right?
Boy's fly
That's
as fuck.
crazy.
He's good as shit too.
I
The
respect
motherfucker's
it.
got some bars.
Oh man.
But again, we probably wouldn't have people like Lil Dicky without Eminem.
Very
Right.
true.
And going on from the Marshall Mathers LP into the Eminem show, you started seeing like, oh shit, his legal troubles are coming out. His mother started fucking suing him. His ex-wife started fucking suing him. He got thrown into jail for like possession of a weapon. All kinds of shit. And this, all the while, he's raising a daughter and battling substance abuse. He has battled it's so fucking well documented. He's battled substance abuse almost his entire fucking adult life. And the fact that he's actually got custody and has adopted the two other kids that aren't even his,
Right.
it's like shit. And you know, he just made 10 years sober this year. So like that's fucking impressive given all the shit that he went through. But you know, before jumping into that, like, you know, he was constantly getting all this flack, but at the same time, he was fucking speaking some truth on a lot of these fucking records.
Yep.
I mean, he flat out was just like, look, here's what it's like growing up in the slums of Detroit. Here's what it's like being a poor white dude in a predominantly black neighborhood, getting your ass jumped all the
Right.
fucking time for being this geeky motherfucker. Because
Right.
that's another thing that I liked about him. The motherfucker is a comic geek. You can't listen to hardly any of his songs without him dropping like a Spider-Man, Superman, any kind of fucking comic reference. And it's like, dude, nice, you know?
I respect it.
Absolutely, but like seriously, like going to that, it's just like holy shit. It's almost like the exact opposite. Like you know
I was
when
just about to say that it's an opposite of persona.
it really is,
Absolutely.
and you know I think he had to put that out there so he wouldn't get fucked with.
Right.
And it's not saying the man wouldn't back his shit up because obviously he's been fucking wild enough to do what he said he would fucking do. But
No doubt there.
But no, seriously, like being a poor white kid in a predominantly black, part of the fucking Detroit, dude, he got his ass jumped constantly, and wasn't until Proof fucking took him under his wing and got him, doing rap battles and shit, and he come up and put these 4 albums out, including, and then his 5th one, Encore, which can we just say that album right there, if you didn't think Eminem was on drugs, listen to that album. He slurs all over it. And the sad part is like some of those songs were good, but goddamn, his delivery was just not up to par.
Right. You can definitely tell.
And that's when he just kind of took a leave. He was gone for 5 years?
Yeah.
He fucking
Big
like
hiatus.
dude,
Came
people
back
thought he
with
was
black
done.
hair. It was a black hair Eminem.
Yeah. Right. No, dude, people thought he was done.
Yeah.
They fucking flat out thought that man was finished, done. Then he comes out with Recovery, which was it wasn't his first album post drugs. He was still kind of recording that album while flushing the drugs out of his system. He has actually since like trashed that album, which I actually enjoyed that album. It was a big return to his horrorcore roots.
But it got a lot of flack.
It fucking
I
did.
think that's why he trashed it. Just who Eminem is, I think that's why he was like, okay, not enough people liked it. I don't like it either.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Conformist.
well, no, not necessarily. It's that, he did he relied on a lot of his jokey kind of hokiness for that album. He did a lot of voices, a lot of, which funny, like Marshall Mathers is one of the funniest sons of bitches to come along. Like no bullshit. Like if you go look at anything he's guested in movie wise or like skit wise, the dude's funny. Like he's got a knack for comedy. And can sing, mind you. One of the few people that can rap and fucking sing.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So you go look at his hooks on some of his tracks when he's, singing some of his, own hooks. It's impressive. And he actually can sing. He's not bad. So doing all that shit, and you're like, okay, respect. And oh, fuck, he fell off. Then I want to talk about the album that, when we get to like the influencing shit, when he fucking put Recovery out, that's the album that had Won't Back Down, Not Afraid, that big fucking single, I'm Not Afraid.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that song was so fucking huge when it hit because this was his first album post rehab, like really post rehab, and that song I think not only carried like a release of a burden off of his shoulders for him, but that song in itself is really empowering to people that are going through really rough times in their lives, really hard times. And I know that album in particular came out when I was going through a really shit time. Mm-hmm. And when that came out, it lit a fire under my ass, like flat out, like just listening to the lyrical content of a lot of those songs. I was like, holy shit. And that song in particular, I was like, oh my God, like this, I need this right fucking now. Like,
I'm not afraid.
Absolutely. And like just about anything, like, you know, I'm not going to let this fucking tear me down. I'm fucking better than this. I'm stronger. I'm going to fucking rise above this shit. And to hear something like that coming from this guy, that's saying something. And that's what I'm getting at. Is like Eminem gets a lot of flack for, you know, the shit that he had done. Like he did. But we can look and move past some of that shit. You know, a lot of what I was going to get at with the misogyny thing, like it's a character beating up in fictional characters in songs. Now, he gets a lot of flack for like being a homophobe, and again, he's come out on record. He is not a homophobe. He's you know, he's like, dude, like those words were things I grew up, and we just got called that shit where I was from, and so like you're a product of your environment, and you just some habits just don't fucking die.
Right. Mm-hmm. True.
But as far as his music goes, I think some of his best work was the first 3 major releases, Recovery, and the Marshall Mathers LP2.
Oh, definitely. I did not expect it to be as good as it was.
Especially working with Rick Rubin.
Really?
Which...
Have you seen his compound? Rick
Dude.
Rubin's compound?
Yes.
The studio in the bus?
Yeah. Oh, that shit is fucking fire, dude. Like, come on now. But fuck, dude, like working with Rick Rubin was such a refreshing take because he had primarily worked with Dr. Dre. Beats and all this other shit. When Recovery came out, it was one of the first, I think it was actually the first album that he didn't exclusively work with Dre. He worked with Dre on some shit, but then he started going out to other producers, and you can tell the sound is different. When Marshall Mathers LP2 came out after this one, he worked with Rick Rubin, he worked with a lot of different producers, and let me just say that his song with Kendrick Lamar on that album was fucking beast.
All the way, bro.
Dude,
All
like...
the way.
That shit. Like, M's always got really good guests on his work, even if they don't ever get past that portion of, like, the guest I'm speaking about, like, on some of these tracks. Like, even if they don't get past that portion of their career, like, their contributions are always really good. Because Eminem doesn't just work with anybody.
But you got to think of the expectation, you know?
Like, when they're in the studio, they're like, oh, shit, I got to make this good.
I got to follow up Eminem. You know,
I gotta make this good as fuck.
Like you want me on your album, like I gotta give you my greatest.
Started sweating bullets at one point.
No shit, but the newest album has gotten a lot of flack. Actually, Revival.
Revival.
Yeah,
I think I heard one single.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of his stuff has, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, this was probably his poorest received album.
What was the release date?
Let me find that right fast, because dude, honestly. I heard that whenever he put that first single out, I think it's "Walk on Water" with Beyonce, it was all piano track.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that's the one I heard.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's all right. The rest of the album, I like the rest of the album. I think the problem with this one is that what I'm gonna get into is it's at a time when I dare I say when I think that racial tension is at an all-time high right now, and you've got, you know, ostensibly you've got a white guy out there saying and, you know, sticking up for like the black community, and people have a problem with that when it's just like, dude, I don't necessarily have a problem because, you know, he's got a voice that may, you know, other people may not have, but at the same time it's just like, fuck, people need to, you know, be listening regardless. Just because one person fucking says it, they need to be listening fucking regardless of who's saying it. And I think, and I think that is what is like driving a lot of people. And it's not directly like reflecting onto him per se, but it's just in general people. And I think this album actually had come out at like it came out at a time when it could have been, you know, worth the shit, but right now No,
Can't do it.
he
Bad
can't.
timing.
It really is because like some of the lyrical content on here, it's making a statement, but once again, it's not the right time for it. He could have, especially with a lot of what's been in the news lately.
But I mean, people are going to pick apart no matter what you put out there. So it doesn't matter what time you put it out or when you. I mean, it's bound to happen eventually.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of the critical like. It wasn't just that. A lot of the critics were bashing. I would say bashing. Is a lot of mixed reviews on like his like the lack of focus on the album. Like he really didn't have. I mean, he had stuff to say, but it's not like he directly had something that was really driving him to say anything this time. It was almost just kind of like, oh, here's some bars about whatever.
Right.
Most of his albums, he's got something to fucking say that fueled the entirety of said album.
Right.
You know, like
Proving a
You can tell the passion behind it, basically.
yeah, like relapse and recovery, drug addiction, the fact that his relationship with his kids fell apart, and the fact that they found him OD'd, and all this other shit. Like that was a fucking. If that's not material enough, then what the fuck is?
Right.
When Marshall Mathers LP2, like that in a sense is where am I at today being sober? How's my relationship with my family? All this other shit. Like there was a song on that album where he flat out just fucking apologized to his mother and was upset about it because he wished he wouldn't have done shit. Like he doesn't even perform cleaning out my closet anymore. Like
Really?
at all. Nope. He does not do it anymore. What? Yeah, like that's
I
how
love
much.
cleaning out my closet.
Yeah, well, dude, like even on that track I just mentioned, which it's a great track. It's actually got the singer from Fun on there,
Oh, okay.
and Headlights. The name of the song is Headlights, and he even mentions it in the song that he doesn't perform "Cleaning Out My Closet" anymore. So you can see the growth of this guy, like
I think
throughout.
I did hear that Headlights. Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
But that's what I've got for him is like you could hear his growth throughout his youth into where he's at now, and even with his newest album, he does have some things to say, but like there's not really a focus. And I think it would have been a good time for him, like after the Marshall Mathers LP, which he did take a lot of time because that came out 2013 and it's 2018 now. He honestly probably could have sat out the game for another couple of years and let some more shit happen. And you would think that with I'm not going to get into it too much because, like we've said last week, we really don't speak politics on this shit. But with current, our Lord Cheeto Dust McGee that is in office, like you would think that this man has got a lot to say, and he did on that front. But I don't think it's enough because he got really political on Encore as well, and I think that album kind of fell on its face when he got too political.
It was more markety. I feel like it was more marketing.
Just to do it.
Yeah. First two were grinders because the second one had to follow the first grinder. I think he was big at that point,
Yeah.
So I think it was more marketing.
And I think that's what this one is too, with Revival, because I didn't even know he was dropping an album until the single dropped, and I was like, oh shit. I mean, I knew he was working on one, but I didn't know when or what the fuck.
Or how soon, ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But honestly, hopefully this is something for him to say, okay, I'm gonna just make what I can with what I've got. Because obviously, I'm a fan and I bought it. I bought it the day it came out. I loved the album, but again, compared to his other stuff, probably not his greatest work. It's still better than Encore,
Right.
and Relapse, but
But if you look at it, Eminem is even throughout his material, he's a personal rapper.
absolutely.
It's not about the accomplishments he did or how much money he's making or what he's driving.
Right, the typical standards. Yeah.
Right.
No, it's not. Because if
his
you listen
life.
if you listen to the lyrics on Marshall Mathers LP2, there's some funny lines about how he's still fucking stuffing his cabinets with like fucking Hamburger Helper and shopping at the dollar store and all this other shit. He's got all this fucking money, but he's talking about.
He's a regular person.
Yeah, it's funny as shit. Like I'm trying to
Very
remember
humble.
the line. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the line verbatim, but like he's talking about how he was in a grocery store just wheeling his buggy, and somebody come up and ask him for his autograph or whatever, and he was wearing sandals, and they looked down, and he's like, "Oh wow, I didn't know you had crow's feet," just like because his feet stick out, and then he was just like, "God damn it!" And then like talk about how he's in his car and he's fucking digging in his nose. This car full of hot chicks pulls up next to him, and he fucking tries to play it off, and he rolls his window on. He was like, "Hey, what you bumping? Yellow Wolf, fucking bitch." Shit like that. So he
He kind
again
of had his parody rap. in there as
absolutely,
well.
and he makes fun of himself, which is the best part.
That's a switch.
Yeah.
He
That's a
does.
switch.
Yeah, he does. So I mean, it's not like the man doesn't know what he's done before.
But how much deeper can he get? Say another album. I mean,
I would say like, I mean he's dare I say he's at the top of his game now just because, you know, he flushed all the drugs out of his system. But God, you have to admit when Recovery had come out, like that right there, that's probably one of his best albums, like flow, lyrically, everything. And
since his comeback, yes.
oh, and Marshall Mathers LP2 only elevated that. Like to me, that one is probably my second favorite. And in fact, the two Marshall Mathers LP albums are my favorites that he's done. Not because of there being a sequel, but you look at one that's autobiographical at a time when he's surrounded in controversy as a youth. Then you look at this album where it's like, oh shit, I'm an adult. I still have things to say, but it's a different world out there now. But I'm better at doing it.
Right.
So
Definitely.
that's what I got. But you know, Recovery influenced me a shit ton lyrically. So
He's on my Mount Rushmore of rappers.
fucking right.
He definitely is.
And according to him, he's there too because he's got a spot for Biggie and Tupac, and then one for himself and Slim Shady.
There you go.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying.
I like it.
So, in reference to our two guys, you know, it's more of the concept of stay creative and stay who you are no matter what flack you get, no matter who
Right.
tells you otherwise. For you, I mean, how would you rank, like, Eminem as far as, like, that concept goes? Like, what is his message to basically the music community? Is it the same thing, or is it kind of just like another message that we're not taking in, or what?
I think for Eminem, as an oddball way as it may be, stay true to yourself because he's never fucking changed who he is ever.
Right.
If
So
you
basically the same thing.
pretty much, because I mean, if you look at there's a song called "Beautiful" on Relapse.
Oh yeah.
That's a great fucking song.
Oh, yeah.
That song alone should tell you everything because he's got a few lines in there. He's just like, you know, don't ever let him say you ain't beautiful because like he's pretty much telling you like be who you are. Like you are who you are for a fucking reason, and somebody out there loves you. Like don't ever let that fucking change. And because you know, for all intents and purposes, like he's a shit, but he's a heartful shit.
Right.
So. Like for me, that's why I like him is that he just does not change who he is, and you're just like, hey, be yourself.
So
Black
that's-
hair or black hair. It does not matter.
Fucking right.
He's
So-
the same person.
Stay yourself no matter what. The
Or lose
concept
yourself.
in the music,
That's right.
Ding ding.
just like the We Three did. Yeah,
I like it.
Same. That's all I got.
same.
You too.
That's pretty good, guys. You know, three
Hell
different people, same different concept, but the influentials behind them.
That's what I'm saying.
I love it. I love it.
Are you ready for the rundown, good sir?
Run them down.
All right, out there in internet land, if you want to follow us on social media,
Listen up
listen the fuck up.
now.
Facebook.com/supermediabros.
Mm.
Twitter.com/supermedia_bros.
Uh-huh.
Instagram.com/supermediabros podcast. Come look at our stupid pictures.
For the fourth time in a row, we've said this.
The
You still
umpteenth
haven't
time.
done- you haven't done shit.
Go look at them.
You haven't.
Move those fingers, people.
You've
That's
been
right.
swiping left and right all your life. This is the one time that it matters.
Be tender to us.
The one time at Marshall matters.
That's right.
Ooh,
Bam.
Marshall matters.
Swipe to the west.
Hashtag. Swipe to
Good
the
karma
west.
will come your way.
That's right.
I like it. This is the best podcast I've ever seen, ever in life. I just want to let y'all know that.
Oh, thank you
That
so
was
much.
my Kanye.
Thank you, Kanye.
That was my Kanye
Thank you.
rant.
I was going to say, you do good.
I'm gonna let you finish, but this has been one of the greatest podcasts of all time.
I was going to say, you don't do good impressions, but that was a good impression.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
So,
I don't know if you want anybody to stalk you out there at internet land, but is there anywhere people can find you if they want to come like fuck around with you and see what you're up to? Or do you want to just be like, nah, kiss my ass?
Yeah, you know, I'm like the Grim Reaper. I will find you. So you better go like the page. You better listen. You better go look at pictures. Follow the hashtags. Follow the links. Instagram,
rate and review.
Facebook. We watching. Rate a review. Get a sticker. I got 2.
Hell
How
yeah.
about you?
That's right.
You probably ain't got none.
That's
got
right.
it on
It's
my laptop.
hell yeah, dude.
I put it on my laptop.
There you go. See, that's the perfect place.
Yeah.
I'll put mine on my tablet.
Look at you.
Bam.
Ingative.
We might have another merch idea coming soon.
Oh.
That's right.
Get a T-shirt. I'll wear a T-shirt.
Shit.
Let's go. Let's go.
Shit, if we ever get big
I'll
enough for
wear
t-shirts.
the fuck out of that.
That's
I'll
right.
wear a T-shirt, bro. I got babies.
Proud to be a
logo on
Super
my
Media
babies.
Brothers.
Hey, man, I love it.
He's proud to be a super media bro.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
man.
talking about.
I feel
As
like
the-
this is home. I've never been here, but I feel like I'm home.
Hell
Right?
yeah. That's always a good feeling. As long as we got our
Definitely.
guests comfortable, fuck yeah. So, that's another thing before we roll out of here.
Uh-oh.
Because you mentioned like rate, review, and subscribe. Fucking rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. And we are also available on SoundCloud, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, and Google Play Music, along with other various third parties like Pocket Casts and things of that nature.
So you have plenty of reasons to listen to us.
And plenty of places to go to listen to us.
You get free shit. You get quality entertainment.
You get to laugh, people.
Right.
Fuck.
Hell yeah.
In this day and age, you don't laugh that much.
That's very true.
But we're here to make you laugh.
All day.
Oh, fucking day.
For a good hour.
All night long.
All night long.
All night. All night long. All night. Oh, yeah. All night long.
I really feel like I'm playing GTA Vice City right now.
Oh, my God.
Jamming that.
Oh, right.
I love Vice City.
Lamborghini. Oh,
The music is amazeballs.
Just that whole game. It's amazing.
You know what else is amazing?
This outro.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
I saw your finger, so.
They all see my finger. All right, guys, we will be back next week with a new Cult Cinema Showdown episode. But until then, I've been Midnight Agent Raw.
Abed Okame.
and I'm Dark Kent, man.
Hell yeah. Until next week, shades on.
We're off.